All right, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's having a great week. I am. I'm. I was kind of hoping for a really sunny, beautiful day today, but of course we have rain and wind, and it's been a little chilly here today. So I'm really excited about the stamp set that I'm going to show you guys tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm so glad that you've joined me tonight. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you push the subscribe button right below. That helps me to get out there and for it a little bit easier for you to find me on YouTube. If you're watching me on Facebook, make sure you like my Facebook page, and then you'll get notified anytime I'm posting a new video. Yay, right? So I have a couple of, let's take care of the housekeeping really quick, and then I have a really fun, exciting announcement. So first I want to talk about, that is the hostess code for this month. So if you are still needing to place an order, that is the hostess code, and that will actually only be up, hey Shanine, that will only be up until I think tomorrow, or what is today? I'm so confused. Today's Tuesday. So, hey, Patty, I'm so glad you're here tonight. So anyway, that is the hostess code for the month. And then there's all of my contact information. Again, please make sure you guys check out my blog, which is the one on the bottom at stampinjulieBrown.blogspot.com. And make sure that you are checking out the cards that I post there. So that's always exciting because that's where I... Usually anything that I make here ends up there, and I also, any of the classes that I do also get put there. So that's always exciting. All right, so then the big news for April, well, I have actually a couple of big newses. So tomorrow, the retiring list goes live, so you guys will be able to sign in to Stampin' Up! And see what's retiring from the annual catalog. Yay. And so make sure that you do that. And then I have one of my bingos coming up. So let me throw that information up. So on Saturday, April 24th, and it says 2020. That is not correct. It's 2021. I will be holding a bingo here at my house from 10 to 12:30. This is always so much fun. So I hope you guys will consider coming because you guys, you get 2 bingo cards. You get a $5 coupon towards the purchase, but you must do the purchase that day. You're going to get a really fun table treat and some gifts. And then we'll be playing 6 regular bingo games and 1 blackout. And between each of those games, we're going to do make and takes. So what do the winners get, you ask? The winners will receive a stamp set or punch from the new annual catalog. And you want to bring extra cash to buy extra bingo cards to give you a better chance of winning. And then what ends up happening is, I'll explain all the other rules later, but it's just a lot of fun, but I only have 12 spots. So if it's something that you want to come to, make sure that you let me know, that you want to come, because I think I've got half of those filled already, and I just announced it a couple weeks ago. So so just make sure that if that's something that you want to come to, that you let me know. All right, so let's talk about, we are going to be working with the In Bloom bundle, and this is such a cool bundle. Hey Brenda, these are called pierced bloom dies, and look at that. Look at all the stitching on these dies. This is a heck of a set. I believe there is like 25 dies and 21 stamps in this set. Crazy, right? So this is going to be a really fun one, and we're going to work with this tonight because, you know, even though it is rainy and windy and cold here, I'm ready for spring. How about you guys? So let's get started. So what I wanted to do was show you guys both simple stamping with this set, and then of course using the dies. So I'm going to be using a Daffodil Delight base that is of course 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need a Granny Apple Green that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Hey Mel, so glad you're here. And then going to need a Gorgeous Grape that is 2 3/4 by 4. And then you're going to need a Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need a scrap of, and I'm going to pull in a big piece and I'll cut it down, but you're also going to need a scrap of Whisper White as well. So let's do the simple stamping part first, because I'm going to show you how this card would look beautiful with just the simple stamping, but then I'm going to bring in the dies as well. So we're going to do a lot of stamping. It does go fairly quick, but because I'm using polymer stamp set, I'm bringing in my handy dandy silicone mat here. And look how fun the sayings are. It says, "You mean so much to me. You are amazing. Happy birthday. You really are the best. Congrats. You're so fancy now." I thought that was a fun one. Not one that we always see. You guys know I like sentiments. That's one of my favorite things. Okay, so what we're going to do, and we are definitely going to be using a stamping off technique tonight. And so I'm going to bring in a scrap paper right over here. And the reason that we're doing this is that a lot of times you want like darker and lighter shades, but we don't necessarily always have the stamp sets or the stamp pads to be able to do that easily. And so I just wanted to show you how you can do this with using just one stamp pad, and you can still get the difference in the colors. So the first one that we're going to work on is with Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to basically second generation the stamp. So what that means is I ink up my stamp, then I stamp it off, because that's the first generation, and here's the second generation. And then I'm just going to stamp it like so. And I'm going to do that each and every time that I use this stamp, because I want it a lighter color, because I'm going to come in later with the first generation of this color. And I'm going to show you again how, you know, a lot of people, like when they're first getting into Stampin' Up, or maybe they've been in Stampin' Up a while and they're just not sure, you know, what colors do I buy? What ink pads do I buy? And this will just show you that you can actually just go in and you can, let's say like this is the bright family. You can go in and you can just buy the brights, and you can still get some dimension with color. And again, I'm going to show you that in just a second. I'm going to do all the second generation stamping first, and then we will come back with the first generation. So the next color that I'm going to stamp is Daffodil Delight. And again, I will be second generation stamping as well. And like I said, the easiest way for me to understand it is there's my first generation, and now I'm going to stamp the second generation onto my paper. I know people call this a lot of different things, and I think that sometimes can be confusing to people who are just getting started. But I am going to stick with second generation. And then hopefully that will carry through and everybody will get used to that when I'm talking about it. And you'll notice that I am stamping off of the sheet a little bit. And again, that's just to give it some contrast, because we don't want just, you know, try to fit a bunch of flowers in here. All right. So the next one that we're going to do is we are going to bring in one of the leaf stamps. There's a couple of them in here. Put that one back there. So I'm going to bring in a leaf stamp. And I'm going to bring in the Granny Apple Green. And again, we're going to second generation stamp this whole first section. And a lot of this on the bottom I'm going to end up covering up. But I still just wanted to show you, oops, almost forgot to second generation. And as you can see with this simple stamping that I'm doing right now, I'm actually kind of designing like a background. And that's the one thing that we never need to, you know, don't forget that you can do that with these stamp sets, that we can come in and basically make our own backgrounds, which is really cool that we're able to do that, because these stamps are just so beautiful that it allows us to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the first generation. I am going to come in with another color, but that other color doesn't need a second generation stamp. So I'm pulling this little tiny, it's like the inside of the leaf. So now I'm going to come right back in with Granny Apple Green, and this time I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to stamp full ink, and I'm going to come in and see how that works. See how you can use one stamp set, one ink pad, and you can get two different colors by just stamping off and stamping first, second generation. And now I'm coming back in with the first generation, which means I'm inking it up and going directly to my image. Isn't that cool? So again, you know, I know that sometimes, you know, everyone, you know, obviously we're all on budgets, and we all have to consider what we're going to buy. So just remember that you can pick one of the families, let's say, because I'm using the brights tonight, and you can come in with the brights and you can still get dimension in your color. Pretty exciting, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to bring in this little, it's like the inside of the flower, and I'm going to come back in with Gorgeous Grape. And again, this is my first generation stamp. So I'm going directly to my image. And so let me bring that closer. So isn't that cool? Two different shades using the same ink pad. Love it. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to put that in the middle. Fun. Oops. My light was kind of glaring on that and I couldn't really see the center. So, okay, so there's that one. And you can see how this is all starting to come together. And again, I'm using the exact same color, just I'm, you know, using it full ink instead of second generation. I know, isn't that cool? So this is just one way to help you guys. You know, if you can't get, you know, most of us when we're first starting out, we can't jump up and buy all of the families of ink pads. And so this is just a way that you can get a little bit more out of your ink pads. And we can still get these really cool dimensional looks using the same ink pad. Okay, so that was the Daffodil Delight. So isn't that cool? Yay! Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to bring in, I call them my baby stamps, one of the little stamps. Well, let's see which one I want to use. I think I want to use this one. And this one I'm doing first generation because it's so small. And you'll see on the inside I will do a second generation with this one. But this one is so small that there's really no reason to bring in another, you know, do the two-dimensional on this one. And again, you'll notice that I'm stamping off the page a little bit. And again, that just gives it some variance with the way that it looks. And this is going to be covered down here, but I'm still going to put that in. So you guys can see how, oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. You guys can see how just with this stamp set, I've just made a beautiful design here. And, you know, and again, that's what, you know, we need to think about that, because I'm the worst one. I'm really lazy when it comes to using the die cuts. You guys know me, easy buttons, right? And using the die cuts, which are all great, but look how pretty that is just using the stamp set. It's beautiful. At least I think so. Okay, let me move that silicone mat. I might bring it in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to actually start building my card. And like I said, I'm going to show you how you can, I'm going to take it to like just doing the simple stamping, and then continue with like using the dies and stuff, just to give you guys an idea. So I'm going to come in, this is my card base, and I'm coming in with that Granny Apple Green. And we're going to put that on the card front. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. I was happy with it. Tuesdays are my design day, so I had fun designing this one today. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with what I just stamped and put this on. Whoops. Which side do I want up? I think I want that one up. All right. So just so you guys can see this, this would be simple stamping. You could add a sentiment to this and it would be beautiful, right? Because you've just put that onto the front of a card. I'm going to take it one step farther, and I'm going to bring in that gorgeous grape. And I know you guys are going to die because I'm going to cover up the whole bottom of this, right? And this is just showing you kind of how to layer. And I am going to bring in the dies for this sentiment, but you could just stamp this on a piece of Whisper White and not cut it out with a die. Just like do a strip in the middle, and then again, you're going to have a really pretty card. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to bring this scrap piece in that I had, and again, I don't need anything even close to this size. And I'm going to use that You Are Amazing sentiment. Yep, it needs the next one up. Okay. And we're going to come in with black Memento ink on this one. Oops. And I know that I'm using a die cut, so I'm just going to kind of stick that right there. And I just re-inked my black Memento. Isn't that pretty? It's amazing how you get used to like how the color dulls a little bit as you're moving, you know, doing this. It's just so funny. I get used to the whole dull look, and then I'm like, oh, when I re-ink it, look how dark the black actually is. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in, and then one of the dies is this little label die right here. So I'm going to bring in this label die. I'm going to line this up the best that I can without sticking my huge head in there. Then we're going to run that through the die cutting machine. And I will have this really pretty little label. And again, if you had a punch, you could use a punch for this if you didn't have the die cuts for this. But you're definitely, when you see how pretty these die cuts come out, you're definitely going to want the die cuts for this. Oh. Okay. So then I'm going to come in, going to bring this back in, and I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. And you'll notice that when I add my dimensionals, I'm really coming in quite a bit from that outside edge. And that's because we're going to add some die cut flowers to the front of this. But I want to show you just how cute this would be. Just adding this little sentiment. And maybe if you could have cut this down and not covered the whole card. You could have used like just part of this, and then your card design would show at the bottom as well. All right, but I needed this full piece, and you'll find out. You'll see why in just a second. Okay, so look at, isn't that a pretty, see the stitching around it? It's so pretty. And you guys know me, I'm a sucker for anything with stitching on it. So you guys had to know I was going to get this set, right? Okay, so I have pre-cut out a bunch of the flowers using these dies, which there's a kabillion dies. And I just want to show you kind of close up what these look like, because it puts that really pretty stitching in there. Isn't that pretty? These flowers and then the leaves, look at the leaves. They're so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to kind of start building, and I'm going to be decorating. But the first thing that I'm going to do is pull some of these out, because I cut out both like little leaves and the insides of the flowers and the outsides of the flowers, and so I'm going to pull a lot of that out right now. Okay, let me see what else I want. And then I think we're going to need, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to pull all of the insides of my flowers. Okay. Okay, I think well, let's see. I want to do a circle. See, it even has the little circles that go on the inside. So I want a little circle there, and I think we'll do a little one of those there. And then I'm going to do a purple one on the white flower and another purple one, whoops, on these. Okay, so let's kind of build the flowers. Let me see if I can get this a little closer. Oops, I was going the right way to begin with. Let me move this, and I'll move these over here so you can see how I build these flowers. So it's basically just, using a little bit of the liquid glue. If my liquid glue wants to, I might have used it all because I was really gluing earlier today. That one does not seem like it wants to play tonight. So let me grab my other one. Always have a backup, right? Oh, this one wants to play. It's already coming out. So, all right. Ooh, that one's really sticky. My hands just got really sticky with that one. All right, so then I'm just going to come in with this little inside flower. We're going to stick it right there, and then move that one to the side. Then we're going to come in with this flower. Oh, and look at the design on this one. Isn't that pretty? And I basically just ran it through the die cutting machine, and that, ooh, that's coming out too much. And the die cuts cut out that design. Isn't it cool? It's so pretty. Okay, then this is, I don't know if you guys can see the white flower, but here's a little white flower. Oh gosh, that's coming out way too much. Okay. Let me see if I can get just a little bit on there, a little bit of the glue. And then I cut out one of these little purple flowers. See how pretty that is? Aren't these pretty? I just love them. And then there's a die that cuts out, where's it at? Oh, let me see if I can find it. Of course, now that I want to find it, I won't be able to find it. Oh, it's right here. So this die, it cuts out 2 at once, and that's what these are. But I'm actually going to build them into a bigger flower. Well, not bigger, but more dimensional flower. So I'm just going to crisscross those 2 together, like so. Oh, you guys can't see me. Okay. And then I'm going to put another little tiny dot. And I'm going to come in with this little purple one, the center, and we're going to put that purple center. It's a little big, but I still think it looks kind of cute. Okay, so now let's start putting these, and obviously I cut these out ahead of time, but you can see I was having fun and I cut a bunch of these out. All right, so let's move us back out. Oh, wrong way. A little bit more. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of start building or adding these to the front of this card. And again, if you didn't know this, you would think that that's designer series paper, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is bring in my snips, and I'm actually going to cut. I don't want it to be that long. I want it to fit in this purple area. So I went ahead and trimmed off the bottom of that one. We'll add some glue. This is such a fun set to just sit and play with. I had so much fun today with this. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and these little ones right here, I think I'll actually put those last. So I'm going to bring this one in, and I want to pop up part of it. And so I can tell that I need to put my dimensionals on these 3 leaves here. And you guys know I always call this my dry run. It's kind of like a dry run because I always kind of line it up first. That way it tells me like where I need my dimensionals. But I do need a little bit of liquid glue right here on this end. So we're going to put that here. And then I'm going to pull off the backing. Oops. Then we're just going to stick that like so. Push it right there so that it actually adheres to that. All right, so there's that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this end with the yellow one. Now this one I'm going to have to do a little bit more finagling because I want it to fit. See how I want it to kind of go around that "you are amazing." And I'm going to just keep kind of moving this around until I get the best fit. And I think I just had it, but then I went by it. I think it's that one. Nope, it wasn't that one. Well, I thought I had it. So again, this just takes, it just takes a little bit of finagling and moving around and figuring out exactly how, because the biggest thing is I want this whole thing to be on the, there we go. Okay, so these 2 are my gluing. So I'm going to keep my fingers on those, and I'm going to put dimensionals on these other 4 leaves. And then I'm going to come in with that Tombow glue again and just get glue up there on the very tip. And then we're going to pull this off. And then turn that over. That's why I do those, I call them dry runs, because then it helps me figure out where to place everything. All right, and then that flower will sit like so. And then I'm going to bring in this flower, and I'm going to kind of tuck it in a little, just a little bit under that corner right there. But I'm going to put my glue towards the center because I want to put some leaves. I want to stick some leaves underneath this in just a second. So I'm just going to move this so it's just barely underneath that label. And then this part that I cut off, I'm actually just going to kind of trim around these leaves here because I want to use these two leaves, but not the way that they were sitting together like so. So we're just going to trim those, and then we're going to, again, just put a little bit of glue, little bit of glue. And I'm going to take one of these leaves and I'm going to, whoops, set it like so. I didn't push this down very hard, so it was moving on me a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with that other leaf and just kind of do it at a little bit of an angle here, like so. And then you can kind of push everything down because it fits a little bit better. Then I'm going to come in with these other two leaves that I have. And again, I'm just kind of hitting the bottom edge here. And I want to bring one of these up like so. And then the other one is going to come down from the bottom on the bottom edge. Like so. Then I'm going to come in with this little flower that I built. And I'm actually going to kind of layer that on top of that one, again with my liquid glue. And you guys can see I'm not putting like a ton of glue. I mean, the only reason I'm putting as much as I am is because this glue has decided it wants to play tonight. It is exploding on me. So I'm going to shove that kind of down there again in underneath that corner with the leaves coming out from behind it. Then I cut two of these little ones that I like, the ones that I used here. I cut these earlier. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to these. And I'm going to stick one right there, actually on the label. So I'm not using dimensionals because the label's already popped up. And then I'm going to bring this other one right there. So it looks like the leaves are coming out from behind that. Okay, and then I'm going to let that stuff kind of dry just a little bit while we do the inside of the card. So for the inside of the card, oh, so I guess we are going to need another 4 by 5 1/4. Oopsie. And we're going to come back with those same colors and those same stamps that we used earlier. And let me just kind of bring this into, because I am going to do second generation stamping again. But this is just, you guys know I like to decorate the insides of the cards as well. I just think it looks so cute. So we ink it up, stamp it off, and then this one's going to go in the corner like so. And let me clean that one off. Okay, and then we're going to come in with the yellow one. And I'm just leaving this ink open because I'm fixing to come back and do that first generation stamping. But let's get the Daffodil Delight on here. Stamp off, and then again I'm just gonna stick it in like so. Do you guys like the squeaking? Sounds like a little mouse. And then I'm actually going to use a different one for over here. There's a third one that's kind of the same shape as these two, and I'm going to bring that one in. And this time I am going to second generation with the Flirty Flamingo. So we're going to bring in that Flirty Flamingo. Whoops. Stamp off, stamp on. Okay, and now we're going to do those centers again. And again, this is going to be full ink, so we're going to start with that gorgeous grape. And we're going to bring in the center of that one. I just love this first and second generation stamping because it just really makes things pop. I just love the way that, you know, having the darker and lighter shade of the same color just really makes it pop so well. Okay, and then for this one, I'm gonna just bring in, it has these, you guys probably can't even see that stamp, it's so little. And I'm not very good at holding it up. So I'm just gonna ink that up with the Flirty Flamingo and then just stamp that in there like so. Yay! Alrighty. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with, let me get this, now I can close these inks up so that I don't stick my hand or my arm or whatever else I might be inclined to stamp on it. We can move this off because I'm not going to be second generation stamping, but I'm going to use this other little saying, and it's the happy birthday saying. And I believe I need to use this big stamp. Yeah, this is block D. I always forget to tell you what size blocks I'm using, just in case you guys want to know. All right, so again, we're going to ink this up really good. And it'll be a nice sharp black since I just re-inked this. Doesn't take me long to dull out my ink pads though, because I use them so much. So I'm constantly having to re-ink. So we're going to come in and try to get that placed centered. Oh, you guys got to see a good shot of my head that time. All right. And then there we go. Clean that off. And so let me just bring that closer so you can see. So there's the happy birthday with the little flowers in the corner. And then we're just going to put our Stampin' Seal. And again, the best way to use this is to click it on the end, and that keeps the tape up here so that it doesn't, because if you try to pull it and it like pulls back, it sometimes gets up in the inside there. So if you just drag it and then click it right there on the end, it's just kind of a little flick that I do, and then it just keeps that adhesive right there on the end so it's ready to use the next time. Then we're just going to put this on the inside. And voila! We have spring, ladies! So what do you think? Isn't this a fun set? I want to bring it closer just so you can see all the detail on those flowers. And like I said, I didn't show you cutting them out with the die machine, but again, it was just taking these dies and picking what color I wanted and running them through the die machine. And that's how I got all of these little flowers to go on the front of the card. So fun, huh? I'm so ready for spring. And of course, you guys could dress this up more. You could put ribbon, you could put, you know, the basic pearls, the rhinestones, but I just kind of felt like this was enough for this card. But you could keep going if you wanted to. So that one says, "You are amazing. Happy birthday. You really are the best" on the inside. Yay, huh? So there we go. I know, isn't it a cheerful card? And I was just so ready for spring because it was just kind of a dreary day today. And I thought, no, I'm going to do spring. I want a pretty card. So I did the spring, and that's what you guys got. All right. So one more quick reminder, if you guys didn't see it when we first started, Saturday, April 24th, I am doing my Stampin' Bingo again. I already explained all the information at the beginning, but if you guys want to come to that, it's filling up fast. So make sure that you let me know. And I know some of you are on here aren't close by, and I'm so sorry. I haven't figured out how to do this via online yet, but I may, and then we can do a bingo for everybody. So just to let everybody know. So guys, thanks for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed that card. This is a fun bundle. I mean, I love this bundle, and I think I just haven't wanted to play with it because it's been, you know, we've had just bad weather and it's been cold, and I'm just like, you know, I just needed a sunny day, and I had that, you know, over the weekend, and so that I was ready then to do my spring card for you guys. So one last look at what I used to make this card. So let me just switch you guys over. I so appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me, and I know this wasn't a very long one tonight, but hey, you know, it's fun when you can make quick cards. Of course, I did prep a lot of that, but it's the stamp set and the dies, and I just absolutely love it. And I've seen cards done with this set that are in like blues and browns and the subtles. Like I've seen it with the mint macaron and the blushing bride, and they're just as cute. But I wanted to be very bright and cheery tonight. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, guys, thanks for being here. I really, you know, time is precious, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button. If you're not watching it on YouTube, pull up my YouTube channel, which is Julie's Creative Stampin', and make sure you subscribe, because there are some things that I put on my YouTube channel that are not necessarily on my Facebook page. So just kind of keep following me, and it just helps me get out there more. And I really appreciate all your support and all your friendships. And I hope everybody has a great week. And don't forget, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the day that the retiring list goes live. You guys will be able to see what's retiring. And I'm telling you guys, you know, I never know what's going to be sold out. I do know that Sadness, the Rococo Rose paper, is already gone. And so if you were planning on getting some of that cardstock, it's already gone. And I don't believe they're getting any more in. But if I do get an update on that, I'll let you know. But we've got more in colors. We've got 5 new in colors that will be coming soon. And again, look for go and see what's retiring. And then, of course, you know, in April, we will be getting in May, we will be getting a brand new catalog, which if you have ordered from me, you will automatically be sent that. So, and please let me know if you don't get it, because if you have placed an order with me, you should absolutely get a catalog from me. And I do the automated one from Stampin' Up. So if you guys don't get a catalog, please let me know. They'll probably send them out, I'm guessing, the last week of April, and then you should have it by the first week of May. So anyway, thanks for being here. Everybody have a great night, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.